Hi everyone, Victor here again. In our previous lesson, I explained the storage concept and I also mentioned that we can configure a pod to use the local storage or a remote or shared storage. And I also said that you could also configure a pod to use both. Before we start creating persistent volume claim, and storage class object or component, I also want to let you know that the secret and the config map object are also types of volume. We already learned what secret and config map are in one of our previous lessons. Hence, in today's lesson, we will look at how to mount secret and config map volume as persistent volume inside of a container. And the reason why we would want to do this is because upon startup, there are some applications, or rather, your applications might need to read up some configuration files before they are started or before some services attached to these applications will work. And also for secret, some apps might also need to read up some SSH keys or some passwords before they are started. Hence, we can attach these files or secrets as persistent volumes. So first, let's deploy the Nginx application. So we're going to create a deployment and we're going to call it Nginx. Image is going to be Nginx. kubectl get port. So you can see that we have the Nginx pod running. So what we're going to do now is to log in into this container. So I can just do minikube IP. So we can do SSH docker at this IP cc user. So now we are in the minikube node. I want to log into the Nginx container. So just follow along with me. I'm trying to show you some things as we go on. So to do that, I can just do docker ps. Let me grep for Nginx. All right, so that's the container running. So to log in, I can say docker exec interactive. Then this is the ID of the pod and sh. So now I'm inside of the container and let me just clear my screen. And so if I go to cd etc nginx, so we are in the nginx directory, and if I do ls, we can see different configuration files. If I do cat nginx.conf, you can see the nginx.conf configuration file. So let's say you want to customize or overwrite this configuration file. All you need to do is to make this path a mount path. And if you also need to add some other files in any path you would like, you will specify that in as a mount path so that your application will be able to make use of it, or so that you yourself will be able to make use of it. And we'll look at how to do this in a jiffy. So what I'm going to do first is to delete this pod. So I can just exit out of this container. So I can just do kubectl delete deployment nginx. So now that this deployment has been deleted, we can then create the secret and the config map. So I already have the secret file here. So let me just open that up. So that's nginx secret.yml. And it's just the same way we've been creating our secret, which we have the API version, kind, metadata. This is the name of the secret, and the type is opaque. And now we have data here. So data, we have auth key. So the way this works is the auth key is going to be the name of the file, and then you have to put a pipe here, and this will be the content inside of the file. So this is what we have for the secret. I can save this and I can apply this configuration file, nginx secret. So now the secret has been created. So if I do kubectl get secret, I have the secret being created. And also we're also going to create the config map as well. So for config map file, it's in nginx config map.yml. And if you look at this file as well, it follows the same process of how we've been creating our config map. And when you come to the data section here, this becomes the name of the file. And then we have a pipe, and this becomes the content inside of the file. So if you want to add more content, of course, you can do that below this parameter. Now that we have this, we're going to apply this manifest file as well. So I'm just going to say apply nginx config map.yml. So if I do kubectl, oops, I have the command before, get config map. So you can see that the config map has been created. And if I also want to get more information about secret or any resource on the system, I can do. So for secret, I can do kubectl get secret nginx. The name of our secret is nginx secret. Then I can put this in. I can output this in YAML format, so you can see all the information about the secret in YAML format. You should also know that these resources have particular sizes of data it can accommodate. For secret, I'm not too sure, but I think it's less than 10 MB. So you can just try to find that out. And so now that we have the secret and the config map created, what we're going to do now is to create the nginx container and mount the files in the secret and config map to the container. And the way to go about this is to first map the secret and config map files to the pod, and from the pod we can map these files to the container. And this is because we can have more than one container in a pod, and if you don't wish to map the volume to a particular container, then you don't have to, because like I said, you will first map the volume to the pod, and from the pod to the container you want to mount the volumes on. So I already have the nginx deploy secret. So I already have the YAML manifest file for creating the nginx pod. So this is what we have. So, and like I said, we need to mount. We need to map the volume to the pod first, and to do that, we can do that from this section. So if you look at containers here, so I can come here, can insert. So after spec here, I can map the volumes to the pod section here. So here I can say volumes, and I can give a name. So let me just give the name of the volume, nginx secret file. and secret. The type of volume is secret. So secret is also a type of volume. Config map 2 is also a type of volume. So here I can have secret name. This is going to be called engine X secret. So for config map as well, I can, under the port section for volumes, I'm going to say name engine X config map file, and this is going to be config map, and the name is engine X config map. So this is how to map a volume to a pod. And now that we've been able to map this volume to the pod, we need to then map this volume to the container. And you can see here under the container section, this is a container name. So let's say you have 2 containers or 3 containers in this section. All you need to do is to go to that particular container. Here we just have 1 container. So all you need to do is to go to that particular container, and then you map this volume from the pod to the container. And so under the container section, just right after name, I'm going to put in a parameter that says volume mount. You can see how the indentation is being taken place right after this name, because this is the container section. Just under, then you can have volume mount. So I'm just going to map this by giving the volume mount a name. So this is engine X secret file. So you're taking this volume name, right? You're mounting it here in the container. And after which you need to specify the mount path. So I'm going to be mounting this in the path /etc/auth key in the container. And what you can also do is we can have a parameter which says read only, meaning that you just want the container to be able to read this file and not write. So if you wish, you can put in this parameter. If you don't wish, you can leave it. But I just want to put it because all I'm trying to say is I only want the container to be able to read this file. And now we're done with adding the secret as the volume in the container. So we also need to add the config map as well. So here I'm going to give it a name, and the name is going to be the name of the config map in the pod. So we're going to be mounting it here in the container. So it's going to be engine X config map file, and I'm also going to specify the mount path. So this is going to be in /etc/extra inside of the container. So we can save this file. Save this file now. So let's apply this. Which is do kubectl or apply file engine X deploy secret.yml. Well, we have some errors, and the error is saying that in volume mount unknown field read only. Let's check this again. Oh, okay, I see where it's coming from. So this should be in caps, read only. This should be in caps. So let's try again. We have another error. The error is pod spec under pod spec volumes. Let's check again. Edit. Okay, so this is where we're having the error. This is supposed to be a list of items. So this is gonna be list of items. I'm just going to put this as list of items here and list of items here. So this list of items in YAML. So now I can save this file and let's try again. We have another error. Error in line 23. Line 23. Let's see what we have here. Okay, I need to move this a little bit closer. This should be closer. Okay, this should be fine now. So let's try again. So we have our deployment created. If I do kubectl get ports, so you can see that we have our pod running. And now what we're going to do is to log inside of this container. So I can do minikube IP. So SSH docker at the IP CC user. Going to clear my screen, and now I can do docker ps. So I'm going to grep for nginx. So we can then log into this container. So I can do docker exec interactive shell, then the name, the container ID, then I want an sh shell. So we map this in etc/etc. So here if I do ls, you can see the name of the directory, which is auth key. You can also see extra here. So if I do cd auth key, and I do ls, so you can see that if I do cat auth dash key, which is the name of the file, you can see that we have password here. So what I'm going to do is I can just say echo. Let me do this again so that I can have this on the same line. Cat auth dot key echo. Oops, I'm in a container. No matter though, it should work. But anyways, so when we did cat auth dot key, you can see the name of the file. This is the password which was encrypted in base64. And also if let me just clear the screen. So if I also check the other file, which is cat, let's cd to etc again. This should be extra. So if I do ls, you can see that I have the file, the name of the file, which is the nginx.extra. So if I do cat nginx.extra, so you can also see the name, the content of the files here. And as a developer or anything, or the sysadmin, so whichever file you wish to make use of, you can make use of those files. Basically this is just how to add secret and config maps to a container as persistent volumes. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like, share, comment, and by doing this you will help us to do more. And in the next lesson we're going to also look at more about secret and config map, but this time around we're going to look at how to do this, some of these processes using the command line tool. Thanks once more for watching, and bye for now.